welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something incredibly human. Anthony Iconor Alvarez's How to Pray, a practical guide for the post-institutional seeker. If you've ever stepped away from organized religion, you know exactly what that feeling of being spiritually homeless is like. You left the building, sure, but your inner life? That didn't just vanish. So this explainer is designed to help you navigate that exact, often messy space.
Our source material actually kicks things off with this really ancient line, "Be still and know that I am God." But let's just immediately clear the air here. God in this context does not have to mean the institutional version you walked away from. This guide assumes absolutely nothing about what you currently believe. It simply recognizes that your hunger to reach towards something larger, yeah, that's still there.
So here is our roadmap for today. 1. The spiritually homeless. 2. What prayer actually is. 3. A toolkit of 7 practices. 4. Overcoming common obstacles. And 5. A simple daily structure. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The spiritually homeless. You still want to pray. Even without an institution, that impulse to reach out is profoundly real. You just need a form that feels authentic to who you are today.
Moving on to Section 2, what prayer actually is, stripping away the baggage.
You know those institutional accretions? The strict formulas, the approved vocabulary, feeling like you need some mediating authority to just give your permission. It can feel super heavy. Honestly, accretions kind of sounds like a dental problem, doesn't it? But true prayer, according to the text, it's really just this: your full, undivided attention directed toward what is most real. It's simply turning your awareness toward the ground of reality, rather than just the surface of things.
And to back this up, the source points out how mystics across completely different traditions actually agree on this exact core concept. Whether we're talking about Sufi masters practicing muraqabah as watchful attention, Christian contemplatives practicing recollection, the Hindu tradition of dhyana, or Zen masters practicing shikansa, which literally means just sitting and being fully present, they are all doing the exact same gesture. Different words, but the exact same action. Which totally proves you never needed external permission to be still. You just didn't.
All right, Section 3. A toolkit of 7 practices. Simple, tested, tradition-spanning tools. Keep in mind, this is a menu, not some strict prescription. Take what opens something up for you and completely leave behind what doesn't.
So here are those 7 tools, arranged roughly from the simplest to the deepest. But the author makes a really great point that this isn't a hierarchy. Just focusing on your breath is absolutely as profound as any other practice on this list when you do it with your undivided attention.
Look at how wildly accessible these first 3 tools are. The breath takes literally 2 to 5 minutes. You simply notice it coming and going. It sits perfectly right there at the threshold of what you can control and what just naturally happens to you. Centering prayer asks for about 20 minutes to gently return your focus to a sacred word, like peace, just as a gesture of openness. And gratitude is contact. That isn't about being a good person. It's a profound contemplative shift from focusing on what you lack to what is actually present in your life right now.
Then we have Lectio Divina, or sacred reading. This is such a cool approach. You take a contemplative text, maybe a poem by Rumi, the Psalms, the Tao Te Ching, and you don't read it as information to be processed. You approach it as a living presence. You just read slowly, let a specific word catch your attention, respond honestly with whatever feelings bubble up, and finally, just rest in the silence that follows. It's a remarkably beautiful, slow way to read.
Now, for those really difficult moments, the welcoming prayer offers this radical act of non-resistance. When you're feeling anxious, grieving, or even angry, instead of spiraling or fighting it, you actually turn toward it. You literally say, "I welcome you, fear. I let go of the desire to control this." The source explains something so crucial here. Resisting a feeling is almost always more painful than the feeling itself. This practice actually allows those hard emotions to move right through you rather than calcifying inside you.
We also see a very distinct difference between walking as mere exercise and walking as a pure contemplative practice. Exercise requires a destination, right? It often leaves our minds completely trapped in planning or worrying about the day. But walking as prayer? It's slower than what feels natural. You actively notice the contact of your feet with the ground. For those of us with restless minds, sitting still can be pure agony. But here, the outer physical movement and the inner stillness just easily find each other.
Finally, the prayer of simple presence. This is amazing because it requires absolutely no infrastructure whatsoever. Washing dishes, waiting in line at the grocery store, lying awake at 3 a.m. It's simply pausing to notice that you are aware. The source actually calls this the deepest and simplest path, noting that what you are looking for is what you are looking with.
Section 4. Overcoming common obstacles. troubleshooting the machinery. Because naturally, when you try to be still, you are definitely going to hit some hurdles.
Like, what if you feel like a total hypocrite because you honestly don't know what you believe anymore? Well, the text is incredibly reassuring here. These practices work at a level that completely precedes belief. They absolutely do not require you to affirm any doctrines, they only ask for your attention. Belief is something for your intellect to work out over time, but presence, that can happen right now.
Next obstacle, a runaway mind. The author totally validates that this is 100% normal. It definitely doesn't mean you've failed the meditation. In fact, catching yourself mentally planning your grocery list right in the middle of a breath and then gently returning to that breath, actually, that is the practice. If you're doing that, you're doing it perfectly.
And what if you just feel nothing? Or what if you are downright angry? Believe it or not, feeling nothing is often when the absolute deepest work happens. Contemplatives have called this the dark night of the soul for centuries. And as for anger, bringing honest grief or a very real sense of betrayal to your stillness is a much truer prayer than trying to perform some fake serenity you don't actually feel. Whatever is true for you right now is exactly the right material to bring.
Section 5. A simple daily structure. The user manual for everyday life.
This daily rhythm is ridiculously accessible. In the morning, before you even grab your phone, just take 5 minutes to sit and hold one genuine point of gratitude. At midday, take exactly 1 minute to pause and notice you are here. And then in the evening, dedicate 10 to 20 minutes to a longer practice to just let the day settle. The goal here isn't to feel spiritual, it's simply to be present, because presence is the only place anything real ever happens. The climax of the source material's entire argument hits you with this truth. The institution is gone, but the thing the institution was pointing at is still there. It is available to you right now. The connection you were seeking, it was never housed in a building. It's literally in the breath you are taking at this very moment.
The author leaves us with this incredibly powerful, completely shame-free thought. The door is not locked. It never was. You always had the key. You always had permission to simply be still. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative question based on everything we've just unpacked. What are you turning your attention toward today? You've got the tools now, and you've absolutely got the permission. Try one of them out and just see what happens when you decide to be still. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.